Podcasts are just my thing. I love them. I love listening to them. I feel so productive. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Mereyah. Thanks for joining me for this video. We're gonna be talking about one of my favorite subjects ever. I could literally gab on and talk about podcasts for too long. I feel like a lot of people are kind of discovering podcasts and different hobbies and kind of finding what they like right now. I have actually done one of these before. I'll link my first one right up here so that you guys can go check that one out. And I have been spending a lot of time trying to diversify the types of podcasts that I've been listening to. That's what we're going to be diving into today, my updated recent ones. So I tried to vary them from the ones that I originally included from the original video. I still love all of the ones that I mentioned in that video, but I wanted to include some really good ones that I found in the time since I've done that video. The first podcast I'm going to be talking about is the Selfie podcast. I'm still a pretty newbie to this one, but it's two ladies and I think they both have kids, even though I can't really relate because I don't have kids, to some of the topics that they talk about. It's interesting to hear like what their kids are talking about and how they kind of learn from them. And I don't know, their approach to everything that they do is just very genuine. I really liked the episode that they have about finding your integrated self, and the one it's titled Will I Ever Sleep Again, and it's talking about kind of like anticipating grief and kind of like keeping yourself on edge because you feel like something's like around the corner, how to kind of like navigate that. It was really about COVID-19, but I feel like it's applicable in any situation or time in your life, season in your life that you feel that way. So my next podcast that I'm going to be talking about is Thick and Thin by Katie Bellotti. She's a little bit older than me, but she lives in New York City, and her whole brand is like Life, Love in New York City. I really enjoy what she talks about because I love just the presentation of her podcast. She really approaches her podcast episodes in a way in which there's sort of like a diary entry, and they're just very like raw. I feel like is the best word to say it. Sometimes she's sipping wine while she does it, and she's just like, she's a 20-something-year-old girl like figuring it out. She recently started doing freelance and moving into doing her own thing, which I just think is really inspiring, and I love her episodes. A lot of times they will incorporate sort of stories from historical figures, be that mostly women but sometimes men as well, and just sort of talking about and applying those things to her life and kind of, I don't know, speculating different stories about historical figures, which is really cool to hear because there's an aspect of like me getting to learn about people that I probably wouldn't have otherwise. So next podcast I have is the WSJ Secrets of Wealthy Women podcast by the Wall Street Journal, and each episode features women who tell their stories about how they got to where they are, how they got to be successful in their career, sort of their whole background, their whole story. Love that podcast. I think it is put together really well and it has a lot of good information. So if you, all the girl bosses out there, check it out. Okay, this next one you guys might laugh. I'm super into astrology, and I mean, that's all there is to say about that. Like, I don't know. Anyways, Parcast has a podcast called Horoscope Today. It's a daily podcast, and it's like 2.5 minutes for your specific sign. I'm a Leo, so I listen to Leo Today, and you can subscribe to Horoscope Today based on your astrological sign. So I'm subscribed to Leo Today, and I don't have to listen to Taurus today, and I don't have to listen to Sagittarius today. I can just listen to my own sign every day, and I kid you not, guys, sometimes it is a thing that gets me out of bed in the morning. Like when I don't want to get up, I'm like, let me roll over, get on my phone, and then I just find my podcast, Leo Today, and then I listen to it. It goes over advice for your career, take a moment and reflect on your relationship. I'm literally saying what the girl says, like the narrator. And the narrator, honestly, she seems like a bad, you know what, she's cool. Just like a nice little like pick me up or like a little wake me up, quite literally for me. Whether or not you think it's super applicable, are mine always super applicable? No, but there's also 7 billion people in the world. Sometimes it's just like a nice like mindset type of thing to like set your mind for the day and things to think about, things to kind of take through your day, and I really like it. Horoscope Today, great daily podcast. They never miss, I will say. Next up we have the Gals on the Go podcast with two sort of YouTube personalities, YouTube vloggers, Brooke and Danielle. They're the hosts. I like it because I've been watching both of them for years. We're all in the same sort of age group. It's interesting to see like the kind of phases of their life that like I've just been through, or we're all going through at the same time, or I have to look ahead to, in terms of especially like post-grad stuff. So that's a more off the cuff one. But lately I've been really enjoying their episodes where they've been, you know, getting a little friskier in their episodes. It's just nice to hear them present ideas differently with just like a little bit more spice. It's just fun. That's very conversational. They do motivational, productivity, and just life stuff. So it's fun. And then next I wanted to tell you guys about the Whoa That's Good podcast, which is hosted by Sadie Robertson. This podcast is a faith-based podcast, and again, it's like a mindset thing, and she brings guests on frequently. I think every time usually there's a guest and they talk about their book, or they just talk about kind of their story with their faith and just things that are really applicable. It just always puts me in a better mood after I listen to one of her episodes. It's like a very wholesome family, just a really good podcast. Well, that's good, right? So if you're looking for a good one in terms of faith and sort of positive mindset and living your life in a faith-geared way, I would definitely recommend that podcast because it's just very good positive vibes. So those are all of the podcasts that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. I wanted to keep it short, sweet, and just tell you, like, honestly, what I've been listening to recently. Make sure to leave your podcast recommendations down below, or tell me if you like any of the ones that I mentioned, and let's just talk about it in the comments, because podcast really just gets me going, guys. I don't know how else to tell you. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe, and I hope to see you back on my channel for my next one. Bye.